Welcome back to the Forgotten City. I was about to call it the Forgotten Kingdom then. Um, already forgotten the name of what I'm playing. But yes, welcome back. Last episode, we went, well, we washed up on a riverbank and bloody Karen told us to go search for her mate, I guess, some other guy. No, she didn't even know this guy. I think she's part of this. I think she's Persephone or whatever the name of the goddess is, who we also found out is some goddess that they worship at this new place. Because I went looking for Al, and he had sadly come to an end of his own volition, unfortunately, and as such, I had no choice but to go through this weird portal, which landed me here. A place where they seemingly are really pleased that of the 20 of them, none of them are criminals. Which, to be perfectly honest, I think is not a ratio to brag about. They also don't really know what could possibly cause someone to break the law. But the law is quite simple. If you do something wrong, everybody is turned to gold, and you see these gold statues everywhere. Clearly, I don't know whether they've put these people up there just to be like, it's nicer and out the way, or if someone, broke the law while they were climbing up these things. Maybe parkour is... Yeah, see, look, I can't move. They're alive! Oh my god, they're still in there! That's why. Holy shit! That is actually quite scary. You're alive, aren't you? Hello? Right, well that's scary. Anyway, we've got to do a little bit of investigating, because someone, apparently, is about to break the law. Oh. Excuse me, sir? I bet he's a gladiator.
What were you two talking about?
How silly you look. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him?
He wasn't trying to buy my vote. We weren't talking about the election.
What else would you be murmuring about on election day? Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
I don't want any trouble.
And stay out of it.
Do you mind? I live here, actually. Fine. Mind if I ask some questions?
Can't hurt.
What's your story?
The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me.
I'd like to meet Malleolus.
Too bad. He's busy.
Oh.
Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it. I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return.
Alright. What do you want?
Dunno. Something good.
Oh, great. Well, you fucking... Isn't soliciting bribes a sin?
Bribe? That's such an ugly word. What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron.
Alright, well, I'll see what I can do.
Make it good.
This guy's a prick. What do you think about the golden rule?
I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected.
How's he going to do
He's
that?
He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see.
Why can't you tell me now?
If I tell you, and it gets out, It'll give old man Sentius a chance to interfere in our plans. And we can't have that.
Sounds great. Can I help in
We've
some
already
way?
lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
Well, I'll be
Whatever.
going.
Just remember, I'll be watching.
Interesting. Well, he's a charming fellow. Yes, so I should probably say another spoiler warning. This is a game that I think very much relies on kind of going in blind, to be honest. So it's a bit of a niche game. I'd never heard about it before. Am I gonna die if I go down here? Shit. The answer is yes. Is that right? Okay, we'll continue from last save. Bollocks. Textures clearly didn't load in. Oh, I hadn't spoke. Right, let's blitz through that. I think that's probably useful to know. Can I skip through stuff? Can I
What were you?
skip sorry, what?
What's the offer?
So now I'm tempted to go a different route. We weren't talking about the
What else would you
election.
be murmuring about? Mark, are you
I don't care about the
good?
election.
Then stay out of it. Nobody likes Caput Murday foreigners interfering in an election.
Might ask some questions. What's your story? I'd like to meet him. Afford it. Alright, what do you want? Isn't that obscene? Sure, I'll see what I can do. What's the golden rule? How's he gonna do that? Tell me how. Not sure I believe that.
He's got you already, did he? Well, I'm not talking to people in his faction.
Oh, fuck. See, I knew you should have played along.
Ossinculio mio.
Ossinculio mio. Shit. Oh, look. Translate. Sentius and Malaise, same excrement, different smell. I like that. I like that a lot. Sekor Edem Oda Ali. And it's locked. This must be where what's his name? Malicious lives. Right, so yeah, out of bounds is clearly a no-no.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Uh-oh. Yes,
Nobody's
why?
told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. I saw a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal. What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others.
That was a great story, but I'm still going down there.
Without a weapon? Well, it's your funeral.
Okay, maybe we'll leave that for a bit. Sorry, I feel like I was only halfway through my my spoiler warning. Basically, I'm going to play through this, and you're coming along for the ride with me. So lovely to have you. But if you did want to play it yourself, possibly episode 1 may be enough for you to kind of go away and, well, have got an idea whether or not this is something that would intrigue you. I think it is different to Outer Wilds. In the sense that this is clearly going to be a lot more sort of a detective piece. I think it's going to be a fair amount of exploration as well, but less than Outer Wilds. Okay, we're not going to be a thief just yet, although I am the fugitive, which should mean I can run away from things.
I can't move.
You poor thing. Yeah, this one looks around at me. Directions to a secret shrine. Enter the caves behind the theatre, then turn right at the first fork and the second. An honest friend to Octavia, may the Lord bless and keep you. I'm sorry I could not risk discussing this with you in person, but if I am right, then you are a believer like me. You may not be able to worship openly here, but know that you are not alone. If you ever feel like you need somewhere to pray, there is a special place for you deep in the caves behind the theatre. Turn right at the first fork, and again at the second. Okay. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Let's go talk to this lady. I do like that little turn they do.
Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
What's your story?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
Sorry, what should I have done?
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
Interesting. Okay. Well, how did you end up here?
I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
A young woman named Karen dragged me out of a river unconscious and sent me here.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you?
Do you know what? She did seem like a fucking Karen.
Why is that? The memes? What are the memes? So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs then?
Something like that.
So your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed character, the one they call Karen. I wonder if... No.
What were you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
Alright,
Good.
I'll do that.
Thank you. But please be careful. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
Nah, which one? Oh, that's the old lady, isn't it? I'll be careful.
Thank you.
Shit! Why didn't I ask what
Now,
happened?
go
Ah!
follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth and come back to me if you discover any patterns.
I'll see what I... Oh! I'll see what I can do. So what's the state of the election?
I don't, I'm afraid. It seems to
That
me
was a
we're
stupid question. I
exiled
should have
here
asked that.
until the gods judge
Election.
us,
Let's talk about the
one way or
election.
another.
Let's go on then.
I'm
Let's...
quite sure it's the work of the gods.
Okay,
Which
but
is
you are a
strange
priestess,
because they've
so...
never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We ask for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here,
Where do you
it
get food
seems
from
they
in
require
here?
much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long.
Why not? I have time.
Wonderful. It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now, the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately, the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic. Realizing only a select few possess such powers, says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately, the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish." So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
What a lovely story. I'm tempted to say I agree, but so or perhaps it's the gods might kill you at any moment for failing their test, and they don't even have to tell you what the rules are. Maybe. Maybe. But that's more just a statement. I mean, I agree.
I'm pleased to hear it.
Not being sort of glib and fucking trying to make snide remarks. Come on, these are Romans, man. Get with the times. Be think fourth dimensionally, okay? What do you think
It
of
must
the
be
election?
completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malleolus, the challenger. Why do you ask?
Who's allowed to
All
vote?
of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course.
Can I vote then?
Well, You're not a citizen yet.
Ah.
So, no, I'm afraid not.
How am I
But
not
if
a
it's any
citizen?
consolation, there are other ways to influence the outcome of an election.
Such
By
as?
using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Nothing untoward, of course.
What's your role in the election?
I'm responsible for announcing it and making sure the procedures are followed.
Can I nominate
You
another
can,
candidate?
assuming they're eligible and willing to accept the nomination.
Can we start the
As
election
I
now?
said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk. But I suppose I could hold it sooner, if there's a good reason.
Hmm. Never
As you
mind.
wish.
I think we'll come back to that. Let's talk about something
Certainly.
else. I'll be going
Come
now.
back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
All right then. Lovely to meet you. Equita. Equita, the unbalanced, Okay, I'm gonna try and save these people. I want to be a hero. Bust. A sculpture of Minerva, the Roman goddess of strategy. Interesting. I forget what the Greek counterpart was. Saturn? No, Saturn's Roman as well. That's the god of wisdom, I believe. Oh, that's gonna bug me. What was the... Yes. Mushrooms. Okay. Well, it's somebody extra. Well, for now then, let's proceed. I should apologise as well. I'm eating a flapjack and drinking tea. I've actually finished my tea because I really did enjoy that poem. It was nice. Statues. More statues. Look at these gardens, though. These are lovely. Do they have birds? You know, I mean, has no one tried climbing out? Where are we? Let's try down here first. There's a nice looking... Oh, we're onto the back alleys now, are we? Ah. Well. Yes. Yeah, I won't lie. That's always... Surely they wouldn't have used the same stick. Right? I mean, can I go to the toilet? Someone was clearly taking a crap. Oh, that guy looked at me! Always remember they are watching. Yeah, you mates are perverted. Theophilus. I don't know what it with 4 girls here. I disappointed all of them equally. Is that like legitimate Roman graffiti or something? That's actually brilliant. Like, what was the Latin? Nice. Okay. Have to scribble that on my local bathhouse. Oh, there's a living chap. Then it's some sort of marketplace.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important. Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death? I wish we could have met under better circumstances.
What's
Well,
your
I'm an
story?
architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people. That kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Ha! No, tell me about the city's
Oh, I'm
history.
glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago.
Unfortunately, I'm out
Which
of
means
tea.
Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
Isn't it common for Romans to copy Greek art and architecture?
Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If
Also, where are
only
you
there was
from?
a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
Go on, tell me about the
Gladly.
architecture then.
Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water into the city, could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Interesting.
You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Am I just terrible with accents? Or has he just got like a pan-European... Like, there are times I'm like, oh, maybe it's Austrian, you know, and that would maybe make sense for the Roman Empire. Or sometimes it sounds a bit Swiss. Or then a bit French. And then you're like, no, maybe I suppose he is just supposed to be sort of Italian. Where are you from, mate?
Of course.
So yeah, that's going to piss him off. What do you think about the Golden Rule
Some
then?
people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me. Like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, You'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called God doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown God doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
I think so, yes.
Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The
Rulers?
first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option. Good question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought.
I noticed some graffiti. What does it mean?
Oh, it means someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to break the golden rule. Look,
Why does someone
I
think
haven't
that?
done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagos, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi.
I'm sorry to
Nice
hear
of you
that.
to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least, I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who wrote the graffiti?
It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one God, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
Let me look into it for
What?
you.
Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you
Well,
arrived when you
Selfless
did.
was also presenting the
I'd
Golden
start
Rule
by
break.
figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
I'll see what I can do. Who are you
Well,
going to vote for?
Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision. My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking. Nice to talk to you.
It wasn't, but okay. Just leaves it on the side there. Interesting. Inspect. Shovel. Smells like ash. Yes, he does have more. Crikey, they're littering the shop.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has
Whatever
to be
is in
important.
there. Another one of these statues. This one has rope.
Ah, a fellow traveler
Oh.
from a faraway land.
I guess you can
Greetings.
sell me clothes.
I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
I'm free on. If I could speak properly, I would tell you that I'm from beyond the edge of the known
Then you
world.
are an explorer, like me. Wonderful. You must have many stories to share. I cannot wait to hear them. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
Damn it. I was hoping for some customization. I would love to put some togas on. What's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum. You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
More or
I'll
less.
tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Fair enough. I mean, it's also not taking problems seriously though, but yes, I understand. How did you end up here?
Good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Great.
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa. Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger.
Huh.
I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am. Anything you like.
It's interesting. What do you think of the Golden Rule?
Yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
Why'd you say that?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus.
What can we do about it?
If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, "Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing."
Okay, interesting. Sounds simple
It
enough.
does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
It's a pessimistic view of
It
things.
is not all bad, my friend, because it is this fragility which makes life so precious. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the golden rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for
Ha!
my clothing, do they not?
Yeah, I guess. Who are you going to
That,
vote
my
for?
friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way. Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
He looks a bit strange here. Any idea about
This is
Virgil?
troubling, is it not? I'm afraid I have no idea. It is ridiculous, though. Virgil is a fine man. But my young friend Fabia confided in me that she saw someone leaving graffiti on his shop front last night. Perhaps you should ask her about it.
I might.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Take care. Right, well, I'm out of tea, which is quite upsetting. And the fire is dying, so I might go get another lump of wood. So, I think we'll call that episode 2. Assuming that another one of these doesn't get corrupted. As with my my Doom playthrough, which unfortunately some of the episodes got corrupted, which is a shame. Oh, that's interesting. No body, but I do have arms. It's interesting. Yes. Until next time. Take care.